everyone. Thanks for tuning in for another episode of In the Hot Seat. My name is Kim Fairley, and I am your 2026 OREA President. If you've watched previous episodes of the podcast before, you'll notice things look a little bit different. And that's because I thought it'd be a great time to sit in the hot seat and share a mid-year update with you. I'd like to say it's hard to believe how fast the year has gone by, and in some cases it has. But looking back at how much OREA has already accomplished, I'm frankly surprised we're only halfway through the year. But before I go any further, I want to address something that I'm sure is on the minds of many of you. This is the association's search for a new chief executive officer. Following an extensive consultation process with internal leadership, member board leaders, OREA past presidents, and external stakeholders, we officially posted the CEO position in late June. This was a major milestone in the recruitment process, and I appreciate your patience and support as we work to find the right person to lead us forward. In the meantime, our work continues. We're in the early stages of developing our new strategic plan, which will help shape our organization's direction for the coming years and ensure our new CEO has a solid foundation to hit the ground running. But as always, it is our goal to ensure you have everything you need to be successful in your day-to-day businesses. So let's dive in to the mid-year update on what we've been up to. We'll start with the bread and butter of Ontario real estate, OREA Forms. Our standard forms team is continually working to ensure our members have the most up-to-date forms, clauses, and resources available. But that's just the beginning. If forms are revised or new ones are introduced, the team will host a webinar or session to inform and educate members, which is exactly what OREA's Realtor in Residence, Nathan Morissette, did when he hosted a webinar in June about revisions to select OREA forms around rental items. In addition to the webinars, the team also publishes guidance pieces, which are available on the OREA Forms Knowledge Hub, our one-stop shop for all things forms. That's also where you can find recordings of past episodes of The Realtor is In, focused on everything from representation agreements to dealing with competing offers. Which, speaking of, I'm excited to share that Nathan returns this September with a brand new season of The Realtor is In. But if you have forms questions that can't wait until The Realtor is In, OREA offers forms outreach sessions, which member boards and brokerages can request throughout the year. The team is working on expanding the outreach session information catalog to cover new topics. If there is specific forms-related information you'd like covered as part of this session, your board or brokerage leaders can request that. And yes, even though we're only halfway through 2026, the team is already hard at work on the 2027 annual forms and clauses update, so stay tuned for that. On the government relations, advocacy, and policy front, we've been very busy. We remain focused on addressing Ontario's housing supply and affordability crisis, but as you know, there is not one singular solution. From grassroots realtors to member boards and government leaders, we all have a role to play. That is why, in early March, OREA published a policy report with 7 practical recommendations that would help lower development charges without increasing other costs like property taxes. We shared the report with MPPs, ministers, and decision makers at Queen's Park, and it was the focus of our spring MPP meetings campaign. I'd like to thank those of you who participated and helped make that event a huge success. If you're curious about the impact our collective advocacy has had, we saw several of our recommendations featured in recent legislation aimed at making it easier to build the housing supply we urgently need. And building on this momentum, we will be publishing another policy report this year focused on housing in Indigenous communities. We'll be sharing more information on that in the coming months. But our GR work isn't solely about addressing the province's housing crisis. It's also aimed at ensuring that the interests and concerns of our nearly 100,000 members and 22 member boards are being heard. That is why we've been working closely with the Real Estate Council of Ontario to ensure the province's real estate regulator gets back to the core mandate of consumer protection. It's also why we're launching the 2026 Municipal Election Grant Program to support member boards with their local advocacy efforts ahead of the elections this fall. Shifting gears, I'd like to share a little about how we're supporting members with their continued education. In January, we launched the OREA Leadership Designation Program, or OLDP for short. It builds on the leadership courses many of you have already taken, like L100 and L200, and you may actually be closer to earning a designation than you think. Once you achieve the designation, you can proudly display it on your realtor.ca and LinkedIn profiles. We also partnered with Humber Polytechnic to launch 2 new courses, Mastering OREA Forms and Effective Leadership in Associations. You can learn more about these courses and the OLDP on OREA.com. Looking ahead, we've got an exciting lineup of webinars scheduled for the rest of the year. On August 12th and again on November 4th, we will be hosting our popular Starting Your Real Estate Career on the Right Foot webinar for new members. If you're new to Ontario real estate, this is a fantastic opportunity to hear directly from experienced realtors about their careers and how they got started. On September 2nd, we will be hosting a webinar for all members focused on navigating family law issues in real estate transactions. And on October 21st, we will be hosting a virtual panel about the different pathways within organized real estate. This would be a great session to attend if you're considering getting involved with your local board or joining a committee. Looking even further ahead, we will also be launching a brand new OREA leadership course in the new year focused on ethical leadership. Keep an eye on your inbox for more details about all of our upcoming educational resources. And finally, before I wrap up, I want to tell you about one of the most exciting initiatives we've launched this year, our Reconnect Summits. Ontario is a huge province, so instead of asking you to come to us, we're bringing high quality, affordable, professional development to you. These one-day regional conferences feature speakers and panelists discussing a range of topics important to your business, while also providing many opportunities to connect and network with fellow realtors in the region. The best part, a ticket only costs $49, and that includes breakfast and lunch. We've already hosted a successful summit in Windsor earlier this year, and we'll be in Sudbury for the Northern Ontario Reconnect Summit on September 22nd, Kingston on October 7th, and Ottawa on October 22nd. If you're in one of these areas, expect to see an invitation in your inbox shortly. That's everything from me for now. Don't forget to check out OREA.com if you want to learn more about anything I've mentioned. Thank you so much for tuning in and for all the work that you do supporting your clients. I look forward to seeing many of you at an event this fall. Until then, take care.